Well, all righty. Sunday night, Pooch is in the house, and I can tell I got Piggy in the house, Elaine in the house, Kickapoo Crafty in the house, Linda Peterson's in the house, and let's make sure here. Might be it for now, which is all good. It's quite all right because it's Sunday night. Oh, Pooch, he's pretty busy today. I was beginning to wonder if I was even going to make it and have the show because right about 4 o'clock I got called into work. And I had to haul tail to Grand Prairie. Treasure Hunter, welcome in. But yep, Pooch had to haul butt to Grand Prairie. And I thought, dad blam it. But HVAC had shut down. So Pooch had to go deal with it. Got over there, went straight to the roof. Check the controls on this particular unit and just did a little hard manual reset. I reset from home before I went, but it appeared that the modules wasn't communicating. So I couldn't tell if the sucker was running or not. So I had to physically go look at it and make sure it was. I'll address with the rest of that stuff a day or two away, as long as it's running. I am good, Linda. Thank you for asking. Oh, let me get my innocence open. Let's see what Pooch is having today. Black raspberry. As my pretty says it, LaCroix. Drinking some essence water. 0 carbs, calories, sodium, all of it. But it's carbonated, and they're pretty good, actually. Yep. Pooch didn't feel like a cold snack right now, so he figured he'd just let that be and suck on some water. But I was out here in the little shop earlier trying to make some sense of this place. John Wiggs, howdy, sir. Welcome in. But, Brian, missed you there, Brian. Good evening, Brian. Welcome in as well, sir. But trying to make some sense of this shop. I've been trying to do a little relocating, put some stuff up here, put some stuff up there. My mom makes quilts. I don't know if y'all can see all those back there, but she had made a bunch of little quilts for Tish or Pretty's little class at school because they get a nap time during the day. So my mom had made all these little quilts to give her so she could put them in her class for her little kiddos to take their nap with, which is mighty sweet of my mama, and they are all some good ones. Applesauce, welcome in. Glad to see you here. But so that's what all that is over there. I think there's about 16 of those suckers. They're all pretty nice, and those little kids will enjoy it, I'm sure. Yeah. So anyway, back to me trying to straighten out this shop. I get started on this thing, then I get sidetracked, and nothing happens except I've drug out more crap. But I'll get her there. The main thing I'm trying to focus on is this desk and work area because with camera and wires and this and that, it just seems to me it's all chaos. And I don't like chaos. I like it to be somewhat smooth operating. So that's been my goal, is to try to get some of this stuff straightened out. And we'll see if that ever gets there. I hope it does, but rearranging, I kind of want to redo this camera that I'm on right now. Actually is also on a gimbal, and I don't like keeping it here. I'd rather use it out somewhere, which is easy to unhook, just remount and all of that. But it's just a pain in the butt because most of the time after you jack with the gimbal, it throws the balance and everything off on it. So you got to rebalance it, and it's just a fiasco. Although this camera that I'm using puts off a pretty good picture. So if I get that other camera that I'm wanting to use as a webcam. It may not be as good quality. It says it is 4K, but main thing is I want to quit using this thing where I can use it elsewhere and quit having to unplug, and that'll eliminate a lot of this wiring and stuff too. So we'll see how that goes. Man, I don't know what it is today, but Pooch is thirsty as heck. This is probably the third or fourth one I've had today. Plus running off to go to work and everything too. That kind of parched my throat a little bit, but no one likes chaos. I sure don't. I like to be somewhat organized, but I can tell you right now that this space right here that I'm working in isn't. Well, it kind of is, but it ain't the way I want it. And then you see all this other stuff, and behind me, I get something out and I got to start messing with it, and it just until I need it out of the way, it'll sit there. But we'll get there one day, hopefully. Once the weather starts cooling down, I'll probably be able to sit outside on the porch, which will be nice. Where's our Pretty? Pretty is probably inside. She, her and our Littles was running around today. Little's got her a new apartment coming up, but they went and had lunch and went and did a little road running. So Pretty will be back in here on Thursday. So I tried to talk her into coming out here with me, but she said, and she's still kind of prepping for this show tomorrow, but I don't know how that's going to work out. Pretty says that interviewee just really wasn't all that great, but I know my Pretty don't want to do all the talking. And if you invite somebody on to tell their story, they need to be ready to speak and spill it out too. So T&J Homestead, howdy. But I don't know if that's going to work out. She may try to go through with it, but it just didn't quite sound like it would be up to par for her. But, it's hard to tell somebody after you kind of scheduled them now, and then you don't know if that's going to hurt their feelings or what. But we'll see how it goes. She got up until 6 o'clock tomorrow to call it if need be. But we had a visitor here last night. I was out there while Elaine was on, and I was listening until I went out. I was whipping up some jalapeno poppers, and then I was going to go outside and grill. So I got to listen to the front end of Elaine's show, and then I moved outside to go out to the grill, and I was still listening. I was able to type in between such and such, but I was out there cooking on the grill, and all of a sudden this little old dog come wandering up. Out here in the country where we're at, dogs wander up sometimes because and this is the sad part, but for some reason people like to bring their dogs out here and just dump them. And it just makes no sense at all. I'd like to go pick them up and dump them off somewhere half the time, which I would if I caught them doing it. Go pick them up by the back of their neck and throw them in the back of the truck and haul them off somewhere. But anyway, and this was a young pup. He probably wasn't about 8-9 months old, medium-sized dog, but he was a little pup, full of energy, wanting to play, raise Cain. But of course, our dogs, they were wanting to raise Cain at that dog. And I thought, good Lord, we don't need another dog around here, and it dang sure ain't coming in the house. But anyway, let that dog be. Get up this morning, that dog's on the porch. And I thought, and all I gave him was a bowl of water last night because, I didn't want him dying of thirst, but I gave him a bowl of water. And again, got up this morning to go to church. Well, I looked out the window first and saw that dog laying on the porch. And I'm like, oh man, he ain't going nowhere. He thinks this is home already. Took off to go to church. That dog was hightailing it behind me down the road. And I thought, well, I don't want him to run off and getting mauled by some big dogs that run around here. or run off and get lost even more. But I came back home from church. That dog was laying on the porch. I was like, golly. All I could think was, if he stays, he stays, but he'll be an outside dog. Of course, I brought my dogs out a little bit later just so maybe they would shut up, because they sit at the front door looking out the windows and see that dog, and all they want to do is bark, raise Cain, and just bark, 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 bark. And then my two dogs will even almost get in a fight amongst themselves. Who can bark the loudest and growl the loudest out the window, I guess. But I thought, I'm going to bring them out so maybe they'll shut up and quit raising Cain with that dog. Yep, we know the dog's out there. Yep, he ain't hurting nothing. He's just here on your property, and you want to protect your property. So I let him out. My male dog, he didn't give a crap because he don't like being messed with anyway. But the little female dog, now that dog lit into that dog, the other dog, the stray, letting her know who was boss around here. Now, our male dog, he is the boss, but because he was here first. But she's pretty protective of him. She stood between that other dog and between him, and every time that dog come ankling around trying to get a sniff or whatever, she'd fire up and light into him. So he learned real quick just to back off. So he moseyed over on the porch and laid down and just kind of watched the whole scene. Howdy, JB Conway and Susie Jacobson. Glad y'all made it in here. But all Pooch was thinking is he's going to have another Pooch. Because I don't want to do nothing to that dog. I don't want to haul him off, but don't like mistreating dogs. Now, if he was interfering with something, that's a different story. But kind of feel sorry for these dogs that just wander up out here. Especially you can tell when they've been dumped, or you could tell they've been on the road for quite some time. Their old belly and ribs are showing, and they just looking like in all kinds of bad shape. Try to get them help, something. But this dog looked pretty good and healthy, like he might have just run off, or who knows. But anyway, he camped out here, and I went down to my neighbor's down the road a ways to check, see if maybe it was her dog, because Pretty said she saw the dog with her earlier in the day. Well, I go down there and the lady's car is gone, so she wasn't home. Went down there twice and she wasn't home, which is unusual for her. It's a little older woman. And get up this morning before I go to church and walk down there and her car's still gone. I'm like, okay, well, she might have went out of town. But later on this afternoon, she come rolling up this way. And I saw her. Of course, dogs were raising Cain. The dog's laying on the porch outside. I'll get up, walk outside. Are you looking for something? And she says, yeah, I seen him. He's sitting on the porch. So it was her dog, little old Shadow. And the poor woman was just worried to death about that dog. Thank goodness. I said, well, he's been here all night. He's been no trouble. I fed him, gave him some water. But like Elaine says, once you feed them, they ain't leaving. If they're smart, most of the time. Sometimes they'll wander off, but once you feed them, that's it. There's a little kitty cat that wanders around out here too. Now, we don't feed it. I'm not a fan of cats. They're okay outside, sight unseen and unheard of. I'm fine with it. Little old barn cat. So she hangs around the barn out there. And I don't feed her and I don't water her. She may get water out of the bird bath or something. I don't know. But she ain't starving, hurting for nothing. That's a fat little cat. So she's doing her job around here by catching the little rodents and maybe a rabbit or birds or whatever. But she don't bother me. I don't bother her. So she's quite all right out there. Need it, feed it, and you own it. Yep, pretty much. But when you see them dogs, bellies all sunken in and ribs showing, and they've been on the road for a while, out here it's strictly country. I can just imagine these dogs wandering through these fields and down these old back country roads trying to figure out where the heck they're at, because people bring them out here and throw them out for sure. And then again, sometimes they just wander off from wherever they belong, or people just cut them loose. Who knows? A dog's going to wander. Oh, there's Pretty. She's chimed in here. But Pretty and I both just start feeling bad for the dogs because we see a few dogs around here that people own that are caged up and just thinking, what kind of life is that? Big dogs in a little 10 by 10 dog kennel cage. Dog ain't got room to do nothing. Plus out there in the heat and the snow and the ice and just all year round. We just don't like it. But anyway, Pretty almost had her another dog today. Because I could tell she's the one, she even named it. She was going to call him John. Why, I don't know. But I asked her this morning, what are you going to name him, babe? And she said John. So I was like, I knew then it was going to be our dog, probably. He'd have been outside dog, that's for sure. Because knowing that dog, he'd probably tear up Jake if he was in the house. John is a dog, LOL. I don't know what his middle name or last name would have been, Wiggs, but you know what? That may be where she come up with it. You dirty old dog. I don't know, but I was kind of thinking of Jimmy, or hell, we could have called him Pooch. I don't know. That'd been fine too. Woof woof. Well, at least you know who it belongs to. Yeah, I know. That was the best part. And the lady was so relieved to see that dog here. She was worried sick about this woman's had dogs, and her dogs have been old dogs. And I knew it's probably why she got this one. She told me the reason she got this one because she found it tethered, chained up, or tied up to a grocery cart rack out in the parking lot up at a Kroger. So somebody probably tied him up there and left him, but she got him and brought him home. But also, little old dog she had for the longest I can remember. Now, his name was Jack, and that poor dog was old. And I've been new for the past month or two. Old Jack didn't have much life left in him. Just barely get around, couldn't see. And he was used to me driving by and pitching him a hot dog or something most of the time. But not even at John Wiggs. I told Pooch that I was naming his dog after John Wayne. Yeah. Naming my dog. But poor old Jack passed, which anytime your puppy dogs pass, it hurts and it sucks and everything. But poor old Jack passed. And so that's probably why she took this one in. And she's good to her dogs, so I'm good to her dogs because, like I said, I'll drive by and throw them a snack or something most of the time. Got anything? Pretty and I try not to feed our dogs a bunch of leftover stuff or human food. They get it as little treats, little bites, but I'll pack up a plate and go down there and lay it on the driveway for the dogs now because I don't know what she feeds them or how. They ain't hurting for food, but they get some good leftovers from down around here if we have any meat and crap left over. Probably run that dog's pancreas more likely because I'd set a big old plan of after Thanksgiving. I'm talking a big hunk shank with a little bit of ham left on that shank and the bone. Well, her old dogs that she had come moseying down here. And of course, they found it and got a hold of it. And them dogs picked that big old hind quarter up and just took it off down there with them. So I know they had a good chawing on that thing, but they probably went in her house and crapped all in her place. That would have been bad. Love my John Wayne movies. Watched them with Grandpa. Boy, howdy. My dad watches Westerns after Westerns after Westerns, and he's probably seen each and every one of them 1,000 times, but he still likes to watch them, which I like watching Westerns too. So I love watching some good old westerns. There's a new western coming out I heard or saw somewhere called Corsicana, and it was based out of Corsicana, Texas, back in the, I guess 1800s or whatever. But it's supposed to be a true story, and it was about a first African lawman. And evidently, this dude didn't play around either, but well known and obviously a well liked African lawman. And I'm looking forward to catching that one. So hopefully, I'll figure out where it's coming up, showing, and all that. There's a sign on I-35 in Iowa that says John Wayne birthplace. Yep. I'll be back, but I'll be sitting back and listening. You go on kick back, Piggy. That's what Sundays are all about. See if I missed anything. You got a Kroger? Yes, ma'am. We got two of them actually. Kroger's probably my favorite store, but there's a Kroger, and then if you get on in town into Burleson, which is bigger than Crowley, but they got almost like a super Kroger. And I'm not kidding you, that store is probably competing with Walmart. But they've got a lot of food. It's a much nicer store selection, but they even have some clothes and whatnot in there. It's a big Kroger. But I love Kroger. I prefer to go to Kroger. I don't like Walmart, so but yeah, I love. Used to be at Albertsons, but that got shut down. So grocery stores are hard to come by now. We do have an HEB up there in Burleson too. So there's a few stores. I keep hearing one of these major intersections down here by. Oh man, that's another facility call. I'm gonna take this one. Hold on. I'm just gonna leave you on here. This mic.
Mike, my name is Dale. I'm calling from the Facility Service Center. I received a call from your location in Burleson, Texas. The caller is reporting that they are seeing a call light warning at the nurse's station, and they hear an alarm, but they can't tie it to any patient room or restroom.
Okay. Is it an emergency work order they're placing, or?
Yeah, that's correct. They are placing an emergency service request.
Okay, send me the emergency service request and I'll pick it up.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye. Go figure. But it ain't that big of an emergency, so I ain't gonna worry about it too much. We'll deal with it when I deal with it. But that's the way it goes. Pooch gets those calls all the time. Most of the time he's got to decide, is it an emergency or not? But that phone call right there, regardless if I leave this house, was 2 hours. So I already have a 4-hour one. I'm liable to have a whole 8 hours pay by the end of the day. More than likely because I already had 4. So, but we'll see. I done lost track of where I was at. I know I was on, what's up, Corey? Corey and Cynthia Davis in the house. So glad you folks made it in here. But yep, that just goes to show what kind of dealings that Pooch has to deal with all the time. So it is what it is. Part of the job, what I deal with. I think I was talking about the grocery stores though. But the Kroger is my fave. And that's what I was talking about. Down here, we have a Chisholm Trail Highway, which is it's a toll road. They cut this sucker through about 5-6 years ago, and it connects from Fort Worth up to I-30, and it'll run all the way clear down to 67, which is Cleburne, and down towards Stephenville and all of that. Now, this highway, when they started building it, and it runs right through, nothing but cattle, nothing but wide open land. And as I grew up as a kid, that's all that this was out here, was nothing but cattle, dairy land, horse land, cows. But anyway, they cut that highway through. Now I keep getting a little wind down here that they're probably talking about putting a big super Walmart. And I'm like, boy. But all along that Chisholm Trail coming out of Fort Worth and cutting through this, they're definitely beefing up the utilities and they're building medical areas, apartments, residential area. And it's just crazy to sit there and look at all this open land that's being developed. I mean, it's unreal. I pray that we don't ever see nothing right out to the west of us because, you know, we're wide open out here. But you never know. Never know what could go on out here. But then also, I also heard about them probably going to be putting, I think this got nixed a while back, but they were talking about putting some sort of big amusement park. I don't know if it was a Six Flags type or a Walt Disney, but they were talking about putting some, you know, Gaylord up in Grapevine has got a pretty good amusement type area, but man, that's the last thing I'd want to see out here is some sort, because then Pooch don't want to move, but if that kind of crap starts coming along out here, I don't see it, but Pooch probably move then, because that's just something that I don't want to deal with. They ain't making any more land. Best investment. That's true. And a couple of guys that is the money of Fort Worth, they're what they call the Bass Brothers. And that is Fort Worth money around here. Well, they own all this land out west of me. So I'm hoping they sit on that at least the whole duration and what's left of my lifetime, so I don't have to see nothing going on out there, because I love being in the country and I don't like having a bunch of rigmarole going on around me. It's bad enough that I deal with the rigmarole that we do. Pretty and I decided we take a little ride yesterday and go riding around some of the old back gravel roads just to see. She'd never been back there. I have, but just go back there and see what all's back there. And of course, you come across a lot of the old mobile homes that have been set. And I mean, they've been sitting out just in the middle of BFE, but old, run down, dilapidated, a farmhouse or two. And she was like, I wonder why land's so cheap than buying a house or whatever. But I was trying to let her explain to her that, yeah, when you get an unincorporated area, especially this area at one time, and it's still pretty much unincorporated, but you know, back in the day, a lot of folks had moved out here to get on cheap land, and Fort Worth was, I mean, this was considered real country back then. But, you know, a lot of folks moved out here and planted their old ass single wide mobile homes and whatever they could get out here. And of course, now a lot of them run down. And nobody took care of them. And, you know what happens to them things if you don't take care of them. They just start falling apart. Like being off in BFE. Hardly no one around to bother you. That's right. Another part of that is, you know, when you don't have any restrictions and nobody tell you what to do and how to do it. You just do what you want to do and keep to yourself. I got to pick this thing up just so they'll know. Before I let it go too far. First off, I got to clock out of another one though, because I'm still in one of them. I'm going to clock out of that one. Check out. No scan. Proceed. And I'll pick this other one up. Duration. Sorry, folks. I'm just trying to run right through this real quick. And that way I don't get all twisted up later. Save. And I'm going to pick this other one up too. That way they'll know everything's under control. Picked up. Checked in. Proceed. Don't. Everything off this phone pretty much, which is good. But I hate carrying that sucker. That's why when I say I retire or I get out of this business, I ain't having a phone, period. Me and Pretty's talked about that. If they want to talk to me, they're going to have to call her. and she can tell me who it is, and I'll be like, Pooch is asleep, or no, Pooch ain't answering, Pooch ain't talking. I mean, work, personal. I'm gonna do away with both of them too. Sick and tired of phones. I know we need them, but I don't like them. So if you ever call me and I don't answer, you best leave a message if you want me to call you back, because 9 times out of 10, I don't answer. And if they don't leave a message, I know it's not important enough. Let's see what we get. No kidding, Piggy. We're about a mile out of town. That way, if I wanted to run around naked in the yard, there'd be no one to complain. Ha, that's right, Piggy. Or go off and take a piss off the porch. Piggy, that's what I want to have, land. That was Linda. Isn't Pooch so sweet and pleasant? Baby knows me. I don't know, Piggy. I have seen a fair amount of traffic driving by your house on videos. Yeah, they like flying down that road. I know Piggy and Elaine have said those people fly down through there like a bat out of hell. I'm surprised Piggy ain't set up on the porch and chunked a rock or something, or holler and slow down. Hate to get up and find your animal out there or something. Yep, sweet and pleasant. That's how I am. I'm drinking some good black raspberry LaCroix. See how I said it pretty? LaCroix. Not LaCroix. LaCroix. Piggy, I am free spirit. Well, a lot of us are, or would like to be. Just we got accustomed to having neighbors and all of that laying, because I don't give an iota. Good job, baby. But yeah, I'll walk around in my underwear. Pretty don't like it, but pretty is right, Pooch. But yeah, here it is. This coming weekend's holiday weekend, so that'll be good come Monday. Let's see what they do that here, so that's why Lazy got hit. Oh man, yeah, I'd be. Ooh. But upcoming weekend, holiday Monday, and boy, I've been planning to get ready to do my last chance cook off. I got all my stuff together. I just got to do it now and video it. So I don't know if any of you other folks are doing that, but that ought to be pretty fun. And I was racking my brain on what I was going to do, and I come up with what I was going to do. So y'all be looking out for that. Kettle Kitchen's putting that on, so I'm surprised Elaine ain't in on that one. That's first person I thought of with the last chance cook-off. I figured Elaine and Piggy want to get in on that one. But I'll tell you what, I'm using the rub in my recipe, and I'm going to make it clear that I am using it when I do my video, just so you know, Elaine and Piggy. I'm definitely going to be using the rub in my little cook-off thing, so I ain't going to spill the beans on what I'm doing. It's not a big deal, but that's what I'm going to make, so it ought to be pretty good, because there's over 100 and something channels in this thing, and I can't imagine what all's going to be cooked and put out there. So there'll probably be some done similar and all that. I walk back and forth from the barn to my house in my underwear if it's dark enough. Yeah, check it. Kettle Kitchen. I think Mr. Boots or 9 Acre Farms, they're a host of it as well. But there's quite a few. Like I said, there's 100 and something channels that are what they call collaborators in it. So they just hit me up randomly, wanted to know if I wanted to participate. And I was like, heck yeah, sure, why not? But they had a video out on that. And amongst all the collaborators, there's a total or over 900,000 viewers in all that group. So it's a pretty good way to probably get out there and get your name out there, get your channel out there, and probably pick up some more subscribers and all of that good stuff. So can't beat it. So why not get after it? But I'm going to use the rub in mine, so that's for sure. I don't wear underwear, Brian, LOL. Yeah. I'll run around. I'll come outside my underwear, especially if I got to go pick the dog up in the backyard early in the morning or whatever. It doesn't bother me none. I mean, ain't nothing nobody's ever seen, so unless, that would be kind of crazy if a neighbor somewhere has got binoculars or whatever trying to look and see, but it doesn't bother me none either. Who does? Man, oh man. But yeah, see what else was I going to get into? I was kind of scrambling to have chat to even talk about because after getting called, I didn't know if I was going to get back in time, but go figure. Drive down the road around here and you might see me in my pajamas outside. Yeah. Sit out on the porch, drink your cup of coffee, and kick back. That's the good thing about out here. We're able to do that, and I'm not worried about it too much, but you never know. Somebody might be peeking or peeping. See what's going on around your camp. I got all that furniture drug out in the shop that was being stored up. Luckily, my littles is going to take some of it. They're moving into a new apartment, so this stuff was nice. Good stuff. It's just been sitting in storage for a while, so she's going to be able to use that, and that way I'm not going to have to just haul it off, because that's probably what Pooch would have done to get it out of the way, is just haul it off. Although there is some donation places around here that it would have went to a good home. I wouldn't have just dumped it off somewhere. I'd have dumped it off in their front porch that reutilizes and repurposes the stuff. So that's where it would have went. So I think there's a kitchen table and 5 chairs, which are that's pretty nice little table and chairs that's going to be left, because she wanted the couch, and it was a sectional type leather couch, which was nice. And then there was a little TV stand, entertainment type center, not a big but a TV stand that sat good in their little apartment, and they put their TV on. So they're going to take that. So that's going to good use. And it's just the table and 5 chairs I got to worry about. And that might wind up at the donation place, unless somebody comes across. I see somebody that might want or need it, but I just want to get it out of there so I can get in the shop, because that's another area like this shop that needs a little attention. Filtered binoculars, chiggers and ticks, and at the Vineyard Farmhouse. Yeah, we got chiggers out here. I haven't really seen many ticks, which is a good thing. The fleas, I don't know, but little grass burrs, little puppy dogs go outside and they get those little grass burrs all in their paws or in their beard, and kind of crazy. I hate dealing, and I put out stuff to try to prevent and kick all that where it doesn't, but it does. No, not chiggers on yours, jiggers. But Brian with the Crouch Ranch Wednesday night, that was a good show. Them folks got them a new channel coming out. And thanks, Brian, for sending it to me. I don't know if they've done anything on it yet. I hadn't been able to pay no mind to it all, but that was pretty good. That's going to be a pretty good channel too right there, probably. See, Corey sent it. When we moved from our house in the camper, we just set out. People took it. Really blessed us. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right, Corey and Cynthia. Well, I couldn't do it out here. It'd probably just set. Nobody'd pick it up because we're off in the boonies. Hey, Pooch and everybody. Tiny Farm Nuggets. But yeah, but taking it to the donation places, that way, it's going to go to somebody that could use it for sure. And because it's good stuff. I'd hate to just trash it or leave it somewhere, and somebody could definitely put it to use. There's a lot of places. Let's see, what's it called? Crazy Eight Ministries. They actually have some homes and places that they have for shelter for battered women and whatnot. So, place like that could most definitely probably use something like that to put in one of their homes for, group home for ladies, women, or whoever. But I'm trying to think of the name that I take this stuff to, and it's called the Harvest House over there by our church, the Harvest House. That's what they do. They accept donations, clothing, goods, furniture, food, whatever, and it's distributed and used for the needy folks. And boy, a lot of those places have been hurting the past few years because it's just been so crazy the way the economy is, and you never know what's going to happen. I mean, some people may think they got it made, but you don't even know, because these stock markets and everything's just going downhill. And I ain't kidding. Christmas is around the corner. That's going to be a true test right then. We're going to see how all these retailers hold up, because I got a feeling a lot of these retailers ain't going to be doing so hot. Heck, a lot of the stuff they've got now, they can't move it, and they wind up discounting it and putting it on clearance just so they can get it out of their stores. And that's how I bought some stuff, thinking, man, they must really be hurting to knock that price down. That griddle, that Blackstone, I couldn't believe it when I went in there and saw that thing. They only wanted $125 for it. And believe you me, when Pretty told me about it, I went up there real quick and snagged one, because that's unheard of. And I went back to get another one because I was going to buy one for my brother, and they were all gone. So, yeah. And they don't post it, sales, or not. They just throw that stuff out there and put a clearance sign on it. So that stuff moves fast for those that are able to go in there and snag that stuff. Furniture is hard to donate. It's hard to store. Yeah, that's true. It is. And a lot of times, some of those places will put signs up and says, don't leave furniture. But then you get those folks that just come and drop off just flat, straight trash too. Nobody wants to sort through their trash. Go throw it in the dumpster somewhere. But yeah, whoo, man. I don't know. Those poor people that have to sort through and deal with that stuff, but you never know. I'm sure they wash it all up, wash it off, and do the best they can with it if it's usable. But half the time, they're probably just sorting through it and throwing it right in the trash anyway, like a Goodwill or something, A lot of people think that's where you take your trash. I mean, have a little respect and common sense when you go take your stuff, what I'd be thinking. If I was attendant in one of those places and I spotted the slightest bit of junk, I'd refuse it. I say, you ain't dropping that off here. You can go and take that down the road to a dumpster or find you a place to put it, because we ain't accepting that. Blackstone Grill, they sure are. Byron, good to see you in here too, sir. I think I've cooked 2 times on my Blackstone. The first one I did an easy Philly cheesesteak cook on it. And then this last one that I did, which I filmed, or so I thought, was hibachi stir fry. I went through all the fried rice, the veggies, had shrimp, but the eggs, the fried, all of it. And I'll be danged if somewhere right after the fried rice was getting done, that sucker cut off and didn't record jack. Of course, I had stopped it, or I thought I stopped it, but I paused and went to something else and then restarted it. And then I had that, but I was like, man, I've lost half my footage, and it wasn't even recorded. The light said it was recording, but it wasn't. So that kind of disappointed me, because I was wanting to post Pooch on the Blackstone and didn't get to. But that's twice I've cooked on it, and I got to come up with something else to throw on that thing and get after it. You know, I like cooking a charcoal grill, a gas grill, a smoker, but now the Blackstone. I may have to try smash burgers on that thing. I hear a lot of people talking about doing some smash burgers on it. So that may be the next thing I try on the Blackstone is some smash burgers. I bet they're pretty good too. Steaks cook well on it. Okay, yeah. I mean, you cook almost anything probably. I guess it's just down to the choice of what am I cooking on tonight. But I'll probably try the steaks on there as well. Let's see. Hey there, 12 Stone. Trying to go back a little bit and make sure I ain't missed. I did see Elaine says, we helped out at the thrift store run by the church we went to for a while. The people that worked there threw away brand new clothes with the tags because they were lazy to go. That's crazy, yeah. Especially if you got tags on them. I believe it though. People are, I think I mentioned this last week or Thursday, and then I saw Pretty was asking questions off of Facebook, talking about quiet quitting, what a lot of folks are doing nowadays. And I don't know what kind of, but that'll probably be a good show, Pretty. And I look forward to listening and watch that one to see who you have on with it or where that's going to go. But a lot of people quiet quitting, and it's rampant. It is rampant throughout probably almost every industry because a lot of times people don't give a crap anyway. People don't want to work anyway. They're there just to draw a check. And that's it. They don't put forth any effort or any pride into their jobs. And I mean, I see it in my places where I work too. But it's just getting ridiculous. And I don't know what this world's going to turn to, especially with people that don't want to work. I mean, how are they going to make it? I do not know. How about their clothes? Not just what you get at Walmart too. And such a waste. Boy, this country is wasteful, that's for sure. And here we got homeless folks and veterans out in the streets. They ain't helping them out any. Disposable world we live in, that is right. And it's a shame too. It's a shame. I try to use my stuff up until it won't use no more. Me and pretty much crack jokes at each other about it because we get a piece of clothing or whatever that's just about wore out. Of course, we're just playing with each other, but I always tell Pretty, I said, you can squeeze out another inch or another day of wear out of that, and then they'll get washed again. And she's like, nah, you can still, it's still got threads. You can wear it one more time, but we do that to each other all the time. Just being, but we do. We'll wear those suckers out till we just flat out can't wear them no more. And I'm real bad about doing it. I always say I need to buy new shorts and whatnot, but I still have some I've had for probably 12 years and I still wear them. And I like them and I don't want to get rid of them. May need to get a button or two sewed back on them. But Pretty's done that before for me. And so's my mom, so to give them to my mom. But now that Pooch has lost a little weight, they're probably going to start sliding off instead of my fat gut blowing out the button. Because that was the problem before. I fluctuated so much between the 34, 36, 38 in jeans or pants and have a closet full of them. And, there's some of them brand new, and I might have wore once. And that bends me out of shape because I buy a whole new stretch wardrobe of pants because I like khakis or cargo, of course, jeans too, but go through and buy a whole buttload and then turn right around and either gain weight and can't wear it or lose weight and you can't wear it. And you just stuck in between, and I like to hold on to it thinking, well, I'll either go up or come back down. But as of late, I hadn't been getting back up there. I've always kind of went back and forth between 220, 225 weight, 210. Always been in the range of 210, 215, 220. So, and it may not show it in the weight, but it shows it in the gut. So that's pretty bad when your backside will hold up the back of your pants, but the front side's pushing them down. So that's what they call a Dunlap belly, where your belly done lapped over your belt. But I'm getting rid of that one, so that's slowly but surely going away due to my new diet after all this rigmarole I'm dealing with. And I know I already told y'all about my visit to the cardiologist the other day. God, we'll see how this next one goes. It better go better than it did this last time, because Pooch will blow a fuse and he'll go off on somebody up in there. That's for sure. I'm kind of watching that clock. If y'all see what I'm doing. Not that I want to hurry up and get out of here. I just know I got to deal with something afterwards. So, but I'm going to make an hour. I'm going to get through it. So, Pooch is about to, let's see what, release a hottie dog. Calling her on 2020. You better get your order in now. Oh, yeah, calendar. Yeah, I sure will. Let's see. 192.20 here. Yup. Yeah, I probably are to weigh somewhere. But you know what? I've always said, and I've been comfortable with my weight because I've always liked to be about 210, at least 210. And the only reason I like that, and the only reason I've ever said that, is because you never know when you're going to have to throw your weight around. And that's always been my thought. If I got to throw my weight around, I need something to throw around. So that's my reason in thinking of being 220 most of the time, just so I knew I'm going to hold my ground. I'm going to hold it well. And if I need to use my weight to push something around, I'm going to do that too. But again, I'm getting too old for that stuff. So I guess I just ought to go on and face the facts that Pooch ain't old. Pooch is old, and he ain't as young and raw bone as he used to be. And I don't go around looking for any scrapes either. So don't need to get into that kind of stuff anymore. Just take it easy and sit back and watch the world go by. See, I'll be back, little man, ready for bed. Jessica, little man, we'll see about that, because I saw how that worked for you last week, Thursday, when he went to bed, and he was right back in your lap. Well, Elaine, welcome to my kitchen. Congratulations. Let's see, what did Elaine do? Miss, I would still be wearing my clothes from 20 years ago, but none of them fit anymore. Back then, I wore a 3 and 4, and now I wear a large. Well, that is good, Elaine. And you've done amazing things with that too. I'm proud of you. But you've also went through a lot more than that too. So very happy for you. We're enjoying life now more than ever. Boy, I bet y'all are. I bet y'all are, Corey and Cynthia. Such a load off the mind. You know, that rat race and all that crap. I'd like to be able to do that. I sure would. Just kick back and try not, or have not care in the world. That has got to be awesome. Well done, Linda Peterson. I am losing. So glad I kept 2 pairs of everything then. Yeah. Well, I wear my stuff out, so if I do get down to it, I'll just probably chunk it all too, because I haven't had a skinny butt in I don't know how long. Practically, and I'm just guessing, I probably ought to be about a 32 to 34 waist, but I don't know if I'll ever get back down to that. So I don't want to get back down to that, but 56, by the time I'm 76, I might be that little old man with that skinny waist. Who knows? But I can imagine, boy. Of Corey and Cynthia, that has got to be the best feeling to get away and have all that weight taken off of you. Just sit back and enjoy life. Yes, sir. I'm hoping to do that one day, but can't do it now, I don't guess. I'm a 33 waist. Now, I could probably deal with that. That's probably where I'd fall, Neil, is right around in that area too. But I just can't see it. I can't see Pooch. I like my 36, actually. Or 35. My 35 is probably off kilter a little bit in there, but you can always cinch your belt up real good. But I really didn't. I wore belts, but I wear them more often now than I ever have because wearing cowboy western belts and them buckles, that would always pinch my gut. So, but I was up moving around a lot more than I am nowadays too. I'm pretty much sitting right at a desk most of the time. A desk jockey is pretty much what I get to deal with nowadays. And I'm not as active and out there in it like I used to be, which is good because I don't know if Pooch could hold up to it now. I've wore myself out from the years of work that I've done, the hard work, physical work, and you ain't kidding. It take a toll on you and wear you down. My old knees and ankles and hips and back and just everything. I have run myself through the ringer. And because I didn't quite take care of myself when I was younger, bulletproof and but I pay for it now. And it ain't no fun either. One of these days I'll get to just kick back and watch it all and not even have to worry about it, except piddle apart around here, which would be fun too one day when I get to do that. But I know getting close to doing my little barbecue, I got a few shirts and stuff I got to make up and get printed up. I'm still working on my new logo. I saw Cold Beer got his new logo put up, so Pooch needs to get after it and get him something done too. But, after being all kind of down and out past month or two, I haven't had much of the urge to do nothing. But it's slowly coming back. I'll get back into it. And we'll get after it. And Pooch will start doing some more shirts and hats and get him a new logo for himself figured out. So I want to get a branding iron of some kind, I think. That's what I want my next logo to be like. Kept them so I won't have to buy again. Self around the neck now. Blessed. What's that? Titanium neck now. I went from 5'11" to 5'10". Whoa. Neil kind of shrunk, huh? Yeah, I think I'm 5'11" and a half right now. I've dropped about a half inch or so myself the past few years. Thank God you're alive. Titanium neck now. I missed Tiny Farm Nuggets. I don't know what happened. If we get a new pair of shoes as kids, the first thing we did was get them dirty so we would not be seen as showing off. Yeah, that's true. I didn't like nothing looking new. I always had to scrape and scuff up my stuff too. Most of the time I go out there and rip the knee or rip the seat out of the pants. And then my mom or my daddy would wear my seat out. Most of the time I got it wore out, the seat. Deserved every bit of it too. At least I know I did. Now back then I didn't think so, but nowadays, yeah, I deserved every bit of the punishment I got, and then some. And I know I've talked about it before, but I've thanked my dad and my mom for wearing my butt out, and apologized for what I put them through, because Pooch was a little hellion. Pooch most of the time would flat out let them know with whatever. This is how bad I was. My mom would wear my butt out. And of course, I never would cry, shed a tear, or nothing. And when she got through wailing and tearing me a new one, I'd look at her and tell her that didn't hurt. And you know what that got me? It got it again. And sometimes back in those days too, she would threaten me. And little smart mouth I was would say, well, when you gonna do it, Mom? When you gonna do it? Go ahead and do it. And I wasn't being, well, yeah, I was being disrespectful, but in my eyes back then, I was being funny. So a little 7 or 8, 9-year-old brat. And then my mom would wear me out. And then my dad get home and he'd do it again. And all I would holler and cry and scream was, I'll remember when my dad was doing it. I remember. And my dad would say, well, you must not, because you did it again. Hooligan. A hooligan. Well, folks, I see it's 9:01, or no, it's 8:01, 9:01. And I know I got something to deal with again. Hopefully I ain't got to go nowhere because I ain't planning on it, but there's a good chance I probably will. But everybody, thank you all for coming in here, hanging out on a Sunday evening. Those that have come here all the time, thank you. Those that have come in for the first time, thank you. And all y'all come on back and just pay close attention. You never know, Pooch might throw up a video or something. But we're planning Thursday night with Pretty and Pooch. So hopefully everybody will join us for then as well. But I hope y'all have all had a good weekend, and I hope you all have a good week. And remember, everybody needs a friend named Pooch, and they call me Pooch. Yes, sir. Thank you, folks. We'll see y'all again soon.